There is an International Day of the Polar Bear, and it's coming up at the end of the month. And we have local authors Deborah Henriquez and Paul Shore who are marking it out in their own special way with a graphic novel series dealing with climate change anxiety. So welcome to the both of you. Nice to have you back, Deborah. So Deborah, let's start with you. Can you introduce me to Steve and Eve? So Steve the polar bear, what's he doing in your book?
So Steve is a polar bear that is living in Iqaluit up north, and he doesn't have enough food to eat and is getting himself into all kinds of mischief, finding other ways to find food. And he serendipitously meets Eve, who crash lands in the Arctic. And
Eve the electric vehicle.
Eve is the electric vehicle. Yeah. That's right. And they start off on the first of many adventures together.
Very cool. And so, Paul, how is the story of, Arctic warming and climate change, how is that woven into this graphic novel?
It's woven throughout this story. The bear wearing a life ring because his sea ice is melting and he has to swim a lot more than he normally might like to. Oh everywhere in the story, we address climate action with a look at hope and opportunity rather than despair.
Right, that's great, because some uplifting in many ways, which is very important, because a lot of children are now dealing with anxiety around climate change. So how do you deal with that in your book?
So climate anxiety has been rising in the last several years. Children are experiencing this at unprecedented levels because of the climate change we're experiencing. Mm-hmm. And the two things we know that are the most effective for addressing this in children are hope and action. And so we have used this book as a vehicle to instill hope in children and help them to look forward to the future through hopeful actions and inspiration.
Let me tell you, I think adults need it too. Hope and action, those are great. So, and the illustrations in this book are beautiful. So Paul, tell me a little bit about your illustrator.
Yes, Prashant Miranda. The universe really did us a favor in introducing us to Prashant through a friend who works for Greenpeace, as a matter of fact. We met Prashant, he lives in Lund, BC. We immediately fell in love with his art. And within a few months, we were all working together.
It's gorgeous. I love it. So, Deb and Paul, neither of you are really authors by trade. I know, Deb, you've written another book before, but you guys did some different things. You're a nurse and you're in high tech. How did you guys end up writing a graphic novel?
So I have been writing since I was a child. It's always been a passion of mine. And to me, human health and the health of the planet go together, and I love the magic of stories. And I had published a book in 2017. Paul published a book at the same time, and he approached me with this idea to write a book about climate change together, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Okay, the book's not quite available yet. So what are you hoping that readers will take away? What are you hoping that they'll learn and they'll feel from reading your graphic novel?
Yeah, it's really our hope that children take away from this to take care of the planet and to take care of each other, to help uplift each other. We're really hoping to inspire and uplift children through this story in this era of climate change that can be kind of heavy for the most part. So lifting them up, giving them hope, inspiring them, those are our goals.
Oh, those are great goals and a great message. And so as I mentioned at the very beginning, it's International Polar Bear Day. So how are the two of you marking it?
Well, we will be launching the book at Arts Umbrella. So we're going to have an actual party and launch event there, and lots to do with polar bears. And we're going to be encouraging people to think about what they can do to in their lives individually and in communities to help the planet.
Well, it's a wonderful message. Thank you to the both of you for making the time to stop here and introducing us to Steve and Eve. Good luck with the book launch.
Thank you so much for having us.